Jade is here to teach us about fusion. Go ahead. What is the form of energy that we have today? Well, we have coal and oil that gets pumped out of the ground and sent to power plants, which gets burned and turned into a bunch of energy that goes to people. Right, yeah, that part. And a bunch of byproducts that we don't want. That's also true. We could potentially put this out of business if we as a society pursue fusion. They've discovered a means by which they can contain this energy and direct it more efficiently, focus it, get exactly what they want out of it. So what is fusion anyway? Atom 1 with a mass of, I'm going to simplify this, a mass of 1, and atom 2 with a mass of 1 just both get smashed together to make atom B with a mass of, say, 1. You've lost mass. What has happened to that? It's become energy. So how do you contain that energy? They've contained that high energy plasma with electromagnetism. And that goes to the final customer, the energy consumer, to make them happy. And this puts the oil and coal plants out of business, right? Do you have to put your competition out of business? Well, sometimes it's just inevitable or a good metric for success, or for some people, maybe it's just fun. You want to put your competition out of business? No? Okay.
What time is it?
It's cheesy analogy brainstorm time. So, for your life, if you want business acumen, what are the elements that we need to collide together to give us that energy output? That input could be about curating concepts in order to release the best of the best as the value output. That input could be the fans with their money, all the fans coming together to give you an input of all that money. I don't know about that analogy. It could be outlets. So one business instead can divide its efforts up into outreach across multiple platforms or even people. You can delegate responsibility, hire employees, and that would be a way of reaching more and more clients, customers, etc. Let's see here. In business, your elements could be multiple businesses coming together. That could form a crossover of audience members and customers, clients, or you could also have a merger, consolidating all of your resources with less expenditure of energy in order to get a greater output. So that's a possibility. In order to figure out our analogy for business, maybe we should start with the human body. So what are the elements of a healthy functioning brain? In order to have the energy and focus that you need to get things done, the elements of health are going to be nutrition and information. You need an input of nutrition, you need an input of the correct information, inspiration, thinking the right thoughts, forming the right habits, etc. The brain needs all that stuff in order to give you directed energy. And then with that focus and precision, you can tackle business. So what are the elements that come together in business? In business, your inputs are going to be funding and resources, and then altogether, you probably lose a little bit of money, time, and energy, but output is value. Value to the audience, to the customer, the works that are created for them. Business components, what is the mass? I guess you could say it's effort, time, potential. Ultimately, those things are lost in the process of creating your new product. What? I'm putting her to sleep with business. Okay, I'll hand you off. So if E equals MC squared, then in the brain, focus equals nutrition times knowledge squared. Or maybe in business, value equals the resources of an acceleration of cash flow. I don't know. Is that true? Probably. I don't know. So let's stop making bad analogies and just get it down to the main basics of it. If you have the right resources and you have the right funding, you can get things done that create value for other people. And then this creates this cycle because people will come to you, and then you're putting your competition out of business potentially. Or in a non-zero sum game, you've just created value for society as a whole. In your development, what is actually going out of business here? The old business model, pumping your time and energy into their work to produce value for their customers and themselves. Well, we're not doing that anymore. If we're gonna be self-employed, our time and energy is gonna cut out the middleman. I guess this analogy is kind of falling apart over here. Forget electricity, I'm just gonna give you guys coal, just straight up coal. Put the entire business model to rest. So when it comes to the energy and focus of the body and mind, the ATP cycle is something great to look at, and that might have some pretty interesting implications when you use it as an analogy for business, so check that out right there. But if you've seen that already, you probably wanna check this one out. That's a pretty cool one too.